Good evening, everybody. How's it going? I must admit, we sat here at home this evening, and about half an hour ago, it looked like the middle of winter. We had sleet outside the window. I'm really pleased to say that it's gone now, so no trace of it whatsoever. But don't want that this time of year, do we? Don't want that any time of year. So welcome. Thank you for joining me this evening. Of course, thank you for taking time out of your evening, because obviously we've swapped things about today, because I wasn't sure if I was going to make it back in time to do our live at 2 o'clock. So appreciate the swap around. Now, I've been thinking about this. I've started and I had every plan to do a black tile tonight. So I'm sorry, Leslie Alf, because I just said to you use a black one, but go ahead and use that. I've changed my mind in the last sort of 3 minutes. And so I've gone with a red one. I'm sorry. You can use any you like. You really can. But it's nice to be able to change your mind if you really want to, isn't it? So here we go. Oh, Leslie. Hi, Tristan. You all right? How's it going? Are you going to have a go this evening? So I've got a really good one to give you a go. And, of course, notwithstanding that I've got the neons out because, of course, we brought those back the other day. So let's just move the stand out of the camera there. There we go. So we'll have inked tiles and all sorts I've had out. But no, I'm going to go with this one, and this is where it's going to be. I might even actually ink a bit of black around the edge when it's finished and see how that goes. I know, because I have to keep some red ones out of Leslie's way, because you know what she's like. She likes those red ones a little bit too much, and she does pinch them all. Okay, sorry, Leslie. All right. Are we ready then? What do I have with me? Of course, regular pencil, taut yarn. I've got my white gel pen, although I might bring in my gel pens. I don't know. I'm going to see how it goes. And regular pen. Oh, all sorts of things. My desk is a bit of a cluttered mess, I must admit, because doing a couple of shows this week, it's been really busy. And yeah, so it's a bit of a catastrophe, but everything is here I need, I'm hoping. Okay, shall we get going then? I'm going to start with my pencil. I want to put a little bit of a guide in here. So you don't have to do this perfectly. And on purpose, I'm not going to go into the corner there. I'm going to sort of start back here. I'm going to put a little... Of course, you're going to do this lighter than I am, because at some point, we're going to get rid of this. We don't really want it. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to see it. Certainly with it being on a red tile, yeah. And yeah, thank you everybody for watching today on Tony's YouTube page. I had a real good time. She's a lovely lady, and she was really keen to get me over there to do some work. She was like, what's a zinger? So I'm sorry, I didn't see that on screen. I started drawing one. But I did have to stay back and show her what a zinger was. So I'm going to get some in this evening, if that makes it a little bit better. Okay. I'm going to start with my regular pen. This is an 03. There we go, 03. You can use whichever you like. Or if you want to bring in your, your gel pens, your golds and your silvers and things, you can do that. I was going to do the red, but I think the red on the camera might not be as clear as I'd like it to be. So you go ahead. You use whatever you want to do. And again, no, Julie, everyone needs zingers. Oh, thank you, Patricia. I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching. You could start this side, or if it helps and you're right-handed, you can start this side. I'm going to go all the way around. So let's make a start, shall we? Okay. Nice to know that Benji's been fed and Seth has, so they're not going to be disturbing us. Okay. Oh, Rose, I'm glad you got it. I was doing some exclusive bits and pieces for Hobby Maker, I must admit. So it's nice to know. Here we go then. I'm drawing a little curl followed by a swirl there. You see, I'm using the pencil line as a little bit of a guide. And then I'm going to create a little aura around the swirl and around the curl as well. Okay. You see, it's not huge. There you go. There's the whole sort of side of the tile. So I'm going to do another one now this way, but I'm on purpose going to draw it a little bit smaller. I want them to be different sizes. So back around we go. But Tony and I are definitely going to set up a workshop. We're going to do a little bit of a day where we can have 2 classes maybe, you know, split the group, and one set with her, one with me. Maybe we'll combine a few bits, but we're definitely going to get together and do that. Sounds like a real plan. Okay. Oh, Tracy, a glass of wine. I must admit, I have just had my dairy and gluten-free ice cream, my cornetto. But of course you get to the bottom, you know where the best bit with all the chocolate. And then you get these 2 cute little fluffy boys looking at you. So you have to share the last of your cornetto, the chocolate bit, with them. It's okay though, I love them to pieces, so they can have the last bit of my cornetto, it's fine. You see what I'm doing here? I'm working one to the other, and working it along, just following that line, and see on the very end there, I can come in with another little swirl. Okay, let's have a look at what we've done then. Hold on a second, there we go. All right, so you see, followed the line. Of course your line's going to be lighter there. Along, yeah. Oh, Wendy, the die. You mean the slot die from yesterday? I need to just check stock if I've got any left. I'll put them on my website. But it depends on sales from hobby makers. So if there's a few left, I might have a few sort of stashed away. I'll put them on my website, and I'll put them on for the price that were on yesterday as well. So okay, I do have a new website. I've just got to populate it with product. I will get round to it, and then we'll start moving over to that one. It's a lot nicer and easier to follow, I think. I'm going to do a long one. There we go. And around we go. There's that swirl. And just take your time and around the swirl and back around to the bottom. And another one. See, on purpose I'm swapping the sizes. So we don't want them all to be the same. We want a little bit of a difference. And then here we go. Another one there. And then an aura around. Okay. Oh, hey Christina. I do ship to the US, I do. I know sometimes the postage is a little more expensive than with the shopping channels because I have to take it direct to a post office and post it, but I do subsidise it. So it normally depends what you have. Postage to the US can cost me anywhere from about £25 upwards. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Louise. Thank you for having a look at that. It's getting there. It just doesn't have many products yet. There's a bit of a blog in there, isn't there? But, I'm going to try and get that done. I'm going to have to get that done each month and, you know, write a little bit about what's going on. And of course, you would have heard yesterday that we have a new elf apprentice. And I'm hoping to introduce you to him next week. Of course, we might even go through a few of the interview questions with him online so you can see what we asked. Of course, it was Harry Potter based. One of the absolute sticklers for anybody thinking of joining the Sanntangle HQ team. They have to know about Harry Potter. So I think Dobby's already educating him, honestly. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Hello from Florida. I love Florida. I do. I've been there lots of times. I seriously hope to come back soon. We just missed out last year because we'd booked to fly out on the 2nd of November, and of course the borders weren't open. Oh, Sue! No, you can't say that. You need to watch Harry Potter. You need to. It's one of those things. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got this sort of odd kind of shape going around, and just because I have gone in really heavy with that line, I'm going to come in and rub it out. Of course, if you think yours is a little heavy, then you can do the same, but you might find that because it's nice and light, you won't really notice it in the end. Just don't want it to disrupt what we're doing. Okay, oh, bit there. All right, so next bit, where are we headed from here? I'm going to create, oh, missed a bit of pencil. I'm going to create a little aura. If you're not sure what that is, you think, what on earth? An aura is where I follow the shape of what I've drawn before. Just leave a little bit of a gap in between the two and work my way along, not thinking about where it's going to lead, just following those lines. And again, all the way down, you see it's coming to here. And I think what I'm going to do is create a little bit of a border. Now I'm going to use the, oh, where is it, that black tile that I changed my mind. And okay, so it's quite a narrow border there. See, it's all got a shape in there. And then, oh, Chrissy, that sounds ace. A calligraphy collection of quotes. There's some fab quotes. I'm sure I've used what, yeah, I have. I've used some in one of my classes before. If you're wondering why the Harry Potter theme, we do have a gallery at HQ, and it does have some Harry Potter kind of memorabilia in there, because as you well know, we call Leslie Elf, and it just sort of started from there, really. You see, I've not finished there because I'm going to take that all the way around, I think. But here I'm going to bring in a bit of a border. See, very thin again. This is when you need John's ruler, isn't it? You can see what you're doing. Okay, and then again. So I've gone quite light there. It's fine. And then draw around these ones. Round we go. Sort of taking our time. You see that sort of comes round and joins there, so that's absolutely superb, exactly what I wanted. And then bringing in my, just seeing if I've got John's ruler here. Haven't, it's in my folder. So I'm just going to bring in that black tile again and join it with a bit of a border there. Let's have a look at what we do. Good job, it's a black tile, just drawn all over it. There we go. Back it up. I think I'll just go and put that line back in there. There we go. Okay, so last little bit here. And around we go. And just sort of follow it round a little bit at a time. It doesn't matter that they're not the same. We want them to be a little bit different. There we go. Oh, Chris, I like that one. I'm sure that comes from a famous film. Was it? It doesn't happen to be Mary Poppins, does it? There we go. So far then, let's have a look at the whole thing. Here we go. All right. So sticking with my black pen for now, or you could change it for a different colour if you want to. I'm going to create a tangle within these 4 outer edges. So spring in a line here, so it's going to go underneath and then come back out here, and then a second line next to it. Okay, let's turn it around a little bit. And then again, you don't have to do them straight, you can do curved ones. You can go a little bit fatter if you want, or really thin. There's lots of different ways of doing this tangle. It's really good fun. And just work underneath each time. You see, every time I come to another line, I go underneath it. And just put one in here. Okay. There we go. Oh, hey Jackie, I know what you mean. Time flies, doesn't it? Certainly when you're having fun. Oh, well. Can I just say as well, if anybody has put any orders in over the last couple of days, my slight apologies for it being a little bit late. As we know, Leslie Alf is moving house, so it's just myself in there at the minute. So I'm going to get them all through as quickly as I possibly can. So please bear with me, we'll get them out and sorted. Certainly early next week, so we're normally pretty good. There we go. You see, I'm just working my way around, drawing these lines in. See that one? See, it follows underneath. I mean, if you want to, you can take each section as a separate sort of shape, and you don't have to follow through with all of these, but I think it's kind of fun working in this way and just bringing in lots of different shapes. Louise, I'm glad everything's going well with the house. It's been traumatic for all of us. I'm just glad that she's found somewhere that she likes. Still a little bit of work to do, isn't it, Leslie? But you're getting there. There we go. Let's bring another one in. So you can do as many or as few of these as you like, but of course the more you do, the more sort of interesting that design becomes. There we are. But of course we've only got a certain amount of time. I suppose we could spend a whole hour just working on this one tangle. You see how it's building up really nicely. Let's put one in there. See, that's going to go sort of up here. Alright, maybe one here. You're not going to see much of that there. Okay, let's have a look at that. It's not too bad. Let's have a look at the whole thing. There we go. Alright, so we've got this lovely sort of design going all around the edge there. And you can add a little bit more to it if you want to. Just gives that a little bit of interest, doesn't it? Okay, alright. There we go. So now I'm going to swap pens. And again, it's entirely up to you whether you use one of the metallics, one of the gel pens. I'm going to come in with a white gel pen here. There we go. White. Just sort of check. I mean, I always tend to use my hand, but just get your pen working. Make sure it's going to be okay. All right. Let's go in a little bit big. Okay. Oh, that's big. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got some little gaps, see, sort of in here, or little sort of corners. I'm going to come on in and fill it with some bubbles there. Not too many. See, little bit in the corner there. Let's just fill that in. Whoa, that stands out, doesn't it? We want a bit of a contrast, so there we go. Maybe a few in there. So let's sort of work our way around. And again, see, we've got this here. Let's put a few in there. And then let's turn it round. And again, see, in this bit, let's bring a few in there. And then again in this one. There's another one in this corner here. You know, I've not worked on a red tile in ages, so it doesn't feel like it. I've used a lot of orange and yellow, and the other day I think I used a hot pink one at some point. Yeah, I did yesterday, didn't I? It's nice. Maybe I will go back and do this on the black tile with a red pen and a gold pen later. See what that looks like. Okay, so you see I've gone sort of all around in those little areas there. You see? Okay. Jackie, white pens. I do have them in stock actually. If I'm not on the website, I'll put them on there for you. They're really useful. But, bear with me. I'll check after this. All right. So we see here where we've got. Let's have a look. I've got one here where it's facing this way. If I come in and I'm going to create a little bit of a line. See going. It's almost like it's one of those lines going Swirls going underneath. And another one. See, a little bit smaller. Then a little bit smaller. And just sort of keep it going. So let's find another one. So here, see it's facing that way. So let's do the same again. Bringing it each time a little bit smaller. There we go. And then moving up again. And of course, another one here. And working it around those lovely little sort of swirls. It's a little bit different, isn't it, working with the black first and then the white? It really stands out. But of course, we're gonna add some shading in and things in a short while, so we're gonna bring that black pen back in as well. So I don't think it's sort of all ended. Oh, this is a large one, isn't it? It's working its way around. That's fine. Don't be afraid to go in or out or underneath something. It's okay. And then next one. Okay. And then straight into this one. And along we go. And of course you can take your time with this. Don't think you have to keep up with me. It's quite a nice little shape. Yeah. Oh, Tracy, thank you. But you know what? Sometimes it's just about slowing down with the pen. If it's not running how it should, slow down with it, and perhaps not as much pressure, and just let it run its course. Just check it's going to flow first, and just take your time with it. Sometimes we get pens, and it doesn't matter what make they are, and however good quality, they just don't want to work. And we have that with all sorts of things. And of course, you know, every pen, it goes through a factory, so some might get a little bit more ink than others, some might get a little bit of a better sort of nib. It could be anything, so don't think it's you. Just take your time with it, and let's see how it rolls. Okay, let's have a look at this. There, it looks really unusual, doesn't it? Because we've gone from black into the white. But I'm wanting this area to be the focus. So we're ready for this then. So you can try it. You can start at any point here. I'm going to come in a bit larger. And I'm going to bring in... See, look, it didn't want to work there. Look, there you go. Let's get it going again. A little sort of stem shape there. All right. And then along we come. I'm just going to put like a little triangle shape on the top there. And then coming back from this shape, I'm going to pull out and create a little curl. And then the same here. What is it, just me, or is this looking like a fancy wine glass? Or is that wishful thinking? Okay, I'm going to create some little sort of curves there. Put one in the middle. A bit like, I don't know, a little mermaid's tail or a fish tail. I must admit, actually, speaking of fishes, the sea life stencils that you've been using, they are looking absolutely fabulous. Those different designs that you're creating with them. Absolutely amazing. There we are. And then next one. Up and around. Oh, now Rose, wait till you see the sort of the tealy colour version I've done with the black and white pen. You might change your mind when you see that. I think I'm going to put some little sort of ones on the side there. So if you're not sure what colour to use, there we go. So flick a couple of little lines. Just one in there, see? Always from the bottom out. And then on the triangle shape here, I'm going to put a couple of little loops, one there, and just a little one either side. There we go. It's quite a large sort of flower in the middle there. So let's bring another one. I'm going to come in this sort of corner here, I think, turn it round. Because I can't go too far in, so maybe I'll start here. I've got a space, and I'll do a smaller one, sort of facing that way. And then in and along, same as before. So that's going to go behind. And then let's bring in those little sort of scaly shapes there. And then in with that loop. And again. Now, of course, if this one's going to go underneath, that's fine. There we go. And same with this. It's okay to put things underneath. Little loops there. And of course, not forgetting our little flick shapes there. Okay. Oh, Rose, that's a good idea. Yeah. You have 20 different colour tiles. Roll the dice and see what colour tile arrives. Do I have 20 colours? I must do, mustn't I? I must do. I think I've counted them. I was speaking of counting when Tony this morning or this afternoon said, oh, how many petals did Sandra put on that first flower? I have no idea. I thought, I have no idea. How on earth is anybody going to remember that? You're going to have to watch it back. I thought, if I don't know, how does anybody else? I'm sure you worked it out though. But yeah, it's a good idea, isn't it? Chris, you'd be good at that. Roll the dice to choose which colour tile you're going to use. But then you've got a decision to make, haven't you? It's 50-50. Do you use a regular size tile or do you use a tiny tile? Now it can get quite deep, can't it? Oh, Chris, I'm sure. How many colours do I have, Chris? I can't remember. How many? I think some we've used and they've just been sort of exclusive for so long, haven't they? I think this one, this cherry red, was one of those available for so long. It came with a blue. I know I did a red, white and blue set, didn't I? As well. There you go. See how these flowers now just sort of come in as a curve and they sort of flick off the pen there. Maybe just one more. Oh, right. 25. Maybe one here, look. And there's that little triangle again. Let's bring out that curl. There we go. Louise, I know. It's really funny though. It must be nice to have choice, you know, which colours to choose, and what colour pens. That's part of the fun, isn't it? It's just about enjoying it. There we go. So putting those little flicks in. There we are. So of course, I think we've got to have a zinger or two. I think I'm going to go back to my black pen. Where did I put it? It's here on the table somewhere. Okay. All right. And I'm going to bring in a zinger. If you've never done a zinger before, you've never lived. We love zingers. Little bubble. And we're going to come round the little aura. And then around again. And keep drawing this, getting smaller each time. Till it disappears to nothing. Of course, because it's sort of hidden in with this white pen, it just looks quite smart, I think. There goes another one. And let's have one now. Sort of coming out here in this space. There we go. Alright. Let's just have a look at these. See these lines on the edge? I'm going to come in now just on the inside of that line there. Maybe a couple of them. I'm going to put a black outline. Just so it starts to go from one colour to the next without it being so sort of shocking to get going. There we are. Same with this one. And you know, follow your design around. Fill in these little lines here. There you go. And then the next one. Okay. So I do think a bit of ink around the outside of this tile is going to give it that little bit of darkness that maybe I'm really craving around the edge there. Okay. this one. So I'm just searching out each one of these little shapes. Just sort of putting those first two in. There you go, I'm back to where I was now. And let's have a look at these little scales. I'm going to just draw a line on the inside of each of those as well. Look how different that makes that look. And if you're using gel pens, then you could do this with your gel pen. Let me put it in that triangle as well. There you go. Makes it look a little bit stencil-like, doesn't it? It's a little bit different. And of course, same on these ones. There we go. To this one here. And there. I think it still would have looked nice on a black tile using different gels. Okay, let's have a look at where we're at with this. Okay, a bit further in. All right, so we've got a very definite sort of border design here now. We've got that white in the middle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in with my regular pencil to start with. I'm going to leave the neons out for a minute and just come in with my shading and see where that leads us. So I'm going to go and follow the shape now, not the curls, not these swirls. I'm going to follow the shape that we did all the way around. Remember we did that aura? Don't be shy. When you're using a darker tile, you can put graphite on. It's going to give it a bit of a silver effect, but don't be shy about adding some to it because we want it to stand out. So all the way around the sides there. And then following, see, I'm only going to get that little space in there, but then I'm going to work it around. Can you believe this is tile 230? Now, I love actually, because I've got them all in a folder, I love looking at them and seeing, you know, all the different designs and things. It's very inspirational, isn't it, looking back? And of course, you saw my memory book yesterday. I've started putting my tile swaps in there. So if I swapped my first tile and second tile with you, you got a name check yesterday on TV because I showed your tiles off. It's lovely actually to do. So it's nice to see the comparisons. And of course, tile 15 is due in next week, isn't it? So that's something to be thinking about. Okay, here's my tortillon. So I'm going to work my way around, just a little bit of pressure, very little, and swirl it round. You're not trying to fill the whole space, you want to leave a little bit of the red tile or whatever colour tile you've used in the middle there. And then if you've used one of the gel pens maybe or something else, you still can do this. There you go. So you get a bit of a sort of a sheen or a shimmer now. The edge of that one. Let's have a look at that with distance. There you go, see. And if I turn it round. Oh, Leslie, haven't you? Neither have I. I've got ideas, don't get me wrong, I've got ideas. I'm going to get it done this weekend because I want to be in the tile swap, of course. So I will get it done this weekend. I'm actually going to write a list when I've finished this of what I actually do need to get done and make a start. I think if I write a list, I sort of know when I'm headed. So, yeah, it's quite nice actually. This looks a little bit silverish. It really comes out on the sort of the camera a little bit heavier as well, but it's working really well. Again, just sort of follow it round. Just letting it do its thing. There you go. And around. Oh, Jackie, please, no, it's not daft at all. On the third Monday of every month, I do a live Facebook video. And I show you a particular tangle or pattern. And you take that pattern and you create a tile. As long as that pattern's in there somewhere, you can do whatever tile you like. You then send your tile along with a self-addressed envelope to my office's address. And then I put them all together, take a photograph of all of them together, and then swap them with somebody else and send them back out to you. So you get somebody else's tile and they get yours. And yeah, a little bit of happy post. So the video is there. I think if you actually did it and got it to me Monday, Tuesday, you would probably still be okay and get it in the swap. So you'd be fine. You've got a chance to do it. If I can get mine done this weekend. Okay. All right, so I'm going to come in now. I've got my white pencil, and as we know, this is a chalk pencil, not a regular coloured pencil. It's chalk. There you go. See, so if I was to break it off, you see, it's chalk. So if you've got one of these and you have to sharpen it, always put it in the freezer first, and it gives it a little bit of chance to sort of harden up, so you can sharpen it with some sort of ability of it not getting too brittle. Okay, I'm taking my white pencil then around the outside. You see how I'm actually incorporating this into the border almost. So I'm trying to work around, sort of in swirls. Let's get some in there. Again, not worrying about being completely neat, it's fine. Just, we want to get some on there. And because it's chalk, it's going to go over whatever you've drawn with no problem at all. There we go. Oh, sort of around the flowers, I'll do that bit, and around here. There we go. So I've sort of gone all the way around the outside. Then, okay. Our jacket it's really nice because, of course, I mean, not everybody posts a tile that they receive, but you know, if you want to, you can, you know, put your email on the back and people hopefully contact you and let you know that they've got their tile. So it's a nice way of communicating and meeting people. Okay, so you see I've got my torch on here and I want to sort of come in and blend this white. So I've got my sandpaper block here. Again, you could use a nail file or a sandpaper block. I'm going to just clean up the edge. You see how it's sort of disappearing? Like, because it's paper, at some point I'm going to do this on purpose. You might end up with, just see, look at a little bit hanging over. That's absolutely fine, that's normal. If you get that, come in with your scissors and snip it off to a point. There you go. They're going to last for ages, so if you've got a pack of 12, they're going to last. There you go, nice and sharp again and clean. So here we go. Then, yeah, you can use, why don't you use, if you've got pastels, you could use a red pastel, or you could use a grey, or you could actually use a black pastel pencil as well. That would look quite nice. But, it depends, you know, like I say, it depends what you like, doesn't it? I don't have my pastels with me, I could have sort of shown you, but they're at the office and I'm not. So, here we go. So you see, I'm working in swirls to soften the edges there. I'm going over whatever's there in front of me. I'm not worried about going over those flowers or anything else. I'm just softening off that pencil or that chalk. Okay. So it does actually look quite shiny on the camera, doesn't it? I know, but it's actually doesn't look that much shiny in real life. Maybe you could just come in a bit and blend a bit more. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my neon pencils now. I'm going to bring in let's have a look, a bit of the yellow. So this is a regular coloured pencil, but as you can see, it's a neon. And what I'm going to do is just add a little bit in this top flower here. So it's quite, although it's neon, you think, oh, it's quite, so it's not as in your face as you would sort of expect, but it's going to go over and on this tile quite well. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to do this one that sits in the middle. Let's bring a bit of orange in as well. Okay. And just bring a bit in there. Just wanted that to stand out just a little bit more than all the others. So having that little bit of colour. Maybe see a touch of green in here. going to give it a little bit of something that we want it to stand out. So last sort of thing I want to do here, I was going to come back in with my black pen. Here we go. And I'm going to draw around that outside shape again. You know where we did that first swirl? Just want to take away some of the white there. Let's have a look, just sort of around those shapes. So I'm going to come around the sort of aura that I did. I'll do that in a minute. But then also around here, because of course the white pen will actually sit over the top of the black, so it can sort of overpower a little bit sometimes. Let's just give that black pen a little bit more of a sort of a stance. There we go. You see, I'm just sort of going over the top of it. There we go. And that's okay. Around we go. And here, see just where that's sort of gone over the black pen there. I'm just going to bring it back. And of course, I'm going to bring that aura back as well. There we are. Around there. I'm going to do around the edge in a minute. I'll bring a straight edge with me to do that with. And then in again. And of course around sort of here. Just sort of filling those little lines in again. Yeah. Okay, around there. I think that's done. So let's just bring this back. Sometimes going back in with that black pen helps to redefine areas, because as the graphite sort of takes over, we want to just bring it back a little bit. Oh, Tracy. But you know what? I think one of my actual sentiments, I think it says about time that you enjoy is not wasted. It's time, isn't it? We all have it. We only have a finite amount, as you well know. There's sometimes just stopping for a minute. And I'm guilty of it just as much as everybody else. I get involved in what I'm doing and just keep going. And sometimes you do have to stop and think, I need some time out for me. And even if that means me tangling, but tangling for me, it's important. So we're all guilty of that. But doing this however long it takes, you know, or even if you did this on a tiny tile or part of it, just having that little bit of time out, I think makes it, well, it does, it makes me feel better. And it sort of re-energises me to sort of keep going. Yeah. You see some of these as well, I think I could even bring back some of these, just sort of part of them, you see. And again, Lynn, I know you mentioned about some of the pencil looking a bit silvery. When you see this now is going to sort of take it back a little bit by adding these extra sort of lines in. So it's more or less sitting on top of that shadow that we do. So I'm not drawing all of it back in, I'm just sort of picking some of those lines that you can see at the top there. Okay, so do a little bit on this side as well. Of course we could do that with the zingers, we could bring that a bit back in a bit, but I don't want it to be too black in the middle. I want to try and keep that whiteness if I can. Oh, Nadia, have you never had one of my tiles? I think Lynn has, hasn't she? There are some out there. I have done every single tile swap, so there are 14 of my tiles. And I must admit, I know sometimes it can be a little frustrating because not everybody posts that they've got it. But I can't make everybody do that. And I know some people don't really know how to or don't do it. But I think there's 2 or 3 of my tiles that are out there that I don't know where they've gone. But yeah, just enjoy the process of creating it, knowing that somebody's going to enjoy it. There we go. Let's have a look. Oh, they are. See, Lynn's got one. There you are. All right. So, okay, a little bit different today. I'm just going to pick that one up. Let's have a look. There we go. So you see you've got those sort of neons, and look how those neons work. It's lovely in the middle. Just giving that flower a little bit of attention. So we've got a little bit of something that sort of sits in the middle there. Let's there we go. I'm going to put my initials on there. There we go. Little initials there. So if I just pull out a little bit. Now that's done on a dark red tile, so it's a black and a white. So you see some of this looks a little bit unusual. It's just on the camera. You can't quite pick it up there, but you've definitely got tangles in there, you see. But if I bring in my teal one that I did earlier, we call it sort of a teal. It's a very greeny sort of colour. So there's a teal version of it. So again, you see the swirls. You've got the pattern in the background there. And I get something that's a little bit unusual. I've only put 3 flowers in there, but as many as you like. There we go. So, okay, whichever colour you... excuse me. It's lack of Prosecco, that is. So, yeah, whichever you go with, whichever one you want to do, have a bit of fun with it. So try it with some of the gel pens. Try some different colours. Maybe add a little bit of pencil in there. And definitely, I think I'm going to add a little bit of black ink, I think, around the edge, just to darken it up a little bit more. So see where you head with it. Have a bit of fun and enjoy it. So, okay, with that in mind then, this is your weekend tile. Have a go, see what you can come up with. And we'll be back in again on Tuesday. So I'm going to stick to Tuesdays for now, as I said. So Tuesday at 2 o'clock, back to sort of the normal time. And we'll do tile 231, goodness me. So, yeah, have a bit of fun with it and have a good weekend. And I will, I'll catch you again on Tuesday. So have a bit of fun and have a good weekend again. And I will see you soon. Okay, you take care, everybody. I'm off for a Prosecco. All right, bye.